I met Jason when I was in my third year at the university. I was a 20-year-old college student, and Jason was a 24-year-old teacher's assistant. He came to my student apartment to visit his girlfriend. When he saw me, he changed his plan and engaged me in a conversation instead. At the end of our conversation, we exchanged contacts. When he got home, our conversation continued. He was easy to talk to, and I always look forward to hearing from him. Jason and I set a date and went to lunch. I went out with him only as friends. Among the things we discussed on this lunch date was my desire to get back to my ex. Jason said, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea. There's a reason why the relationship didn't work the first time. If you go back to him now, that reason still remains." Jason had been in a relationship 3 times before, so I figured he was more experienced in these things than I was. I took his advice and didn't go back to my ex. He also broke up with his girlfriend. A month into our friendship, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I really liked him by then, so I said yes. His frequent visits with me on campus made it obvious that we were dating. His ex-girlfriend got to find out about us and got angry. She told everyone that I stole her boyfriend. I faced hell in my dormitory because of this. Some people called me names and whispered insults behind my back. Others confronted me, saying, "Why did you take her man? How could you betray the sisterhood?" I didn't bother explaining to anyone that I didn't know this girl. I only got to know about her after my boyfriend and I met. No one would listen to me or believe me, so I said nothing. After suffering public anger for 2 months, I advised myself, no man is worth this kind of trouble. Break up with him for your peace of mind. So, I told him that his presence in my life was causing trouble for me. We broke up peacefully and tried to remain friends. After I completed my university, Jason started talking about us getting back together. He told me, "You know what they say, the heart always wants what it wants. My heart has never stopped wanting you. Yeah, you broke up with me because of what my ex was doing to you on campus. Now you're done with school. Why shouldn't we get back together now?" He made a lot of sense, and I was still in love with him. So eventually, I said yes and gave him another chance. Our relationship became a long-distance one. He was living in another state. We all know that where love is concerned, no journey is too far. Jason and I made it a point to see each other twice every month. Along the line, I got pregnant and unfortunately miscarried. After that incident, Jason said, "I want to meet your family. It's time to make things official between us." I was happy to hear him say that. I took him home to meet my family and my dad loved him. My mom, on the contrary, rejected him. She said she didn't support my relationship with him for some reason she wouldn't disclose to us. I prayed about it and talked to her consistently until finally she gave me her blessings. Not long after meeting my family, his 19-year-old female cousin moved in with him. She said she was having problems in school because she was getting in with the wrong crowd. So she enrolled at the local college closer to him so he can tutor her on some of the difficult classes she was taking and mentor her. According to Jason's auntie, who was the girl's mother, she was afraid something bad would happen to her if she continued to live with them in the same neighborhood where she grew up. So they encouraged her to move in with him. There was something about this girl that didn't sit right with me. When I tried to talk about it, she said, "How can you think like that? She's my family. You are just being unnecessarily dramatic." Later, Jason introduced me to his dad. While we were talking, Jason brought up my concern with the girl. His father immediately got offended. He said, "That girl is like a sister to my son. There can never be anything amorous between them." He accused me of having a dirty mind for thinking of cousins in such a way. He said, "Never say such things again." I apologized and promised to let it go. After that encounter, I took my mind off it. Jason lives a few hours away from me. So one day I visited him only to find the morning after pill in the girl's room. My instinct immediately told me that she was sleeping with Jason. I didn't have proof, but I confronted him about the pill. I even took off my engagement ring and told him I was done with him. I called the girl and asked her, "What is your relationship with my fiancé?" The girl retorted, "Didn't you ask him?" I was livid. Jason's reaction to everything was, "Yeah, do you know how crazy you sound right now? Just because she's taking the post pill doesn't mean that I'm the one sleeping with her. Why are you doing this?" Truthfully, I felt crazy. I realized that he had a case. I apologized and let it go. I lost my father in 2019. In the wake of our grief, we held off our wedding plans until he was buried in January 2020. After the funeral, I found out that I was pregnant again. I tried for us to quickly get married before I start to show. I was planning on moving in with Jason, but I couldn't find a job in his area, so I was staying at his place during the weekends. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned because the way the pregnancy took a toll on my body. 6 months into my pregnancy, I decided to pay a surprise visit on a Thursday. I had the keys to his house, so when I got there, I opened the door. I entered into his living room. I was expecting him to be in his living room, but I didn't see him there, so I went to the bedroom. On my way to the bedroom, I heard some moaning noises coming from his bedroom. I rushed in the bedroom and caught him red-handed, cheating on me with his cousin. It turned out that my instinct was right all along. I wasn't crazy. I was devastated. I rushed out of the living room and he followed behind me. I got into my car and drove away as he begged me to stop. I didn't know where I was driving to. I just wanted to drive as far away from him as I could. When I drove a few miles away from his house, I parked somewhere and started crying. I was too deep in the relationship. We were planning to get married, and I was carrying his child, only to find out that he has been cheating on me and lying about it. He was blowing up my phone, but I didn't respond to him for 3 days. I gave it a lot of thoughts. In my condition, I felt like I had no one to turn to. I was 6 months pregnant. I'm planning on quitting my job, and he's my only financial support. On the 4th day, I answered his phone. Jason wept and pleaded for forgiveness. He begged me not to tell anyone about the disgraceful thing he had done. He also begged me to take him back. He said he didn't know what came over him, and he wouldn't do it again. Love forgives. Isn't that what they say? In my condition, I felt vulnerable, like I had no option but to forgive him and take him back. We got married after I had the baby. After we got married, I thought things would fall in place and our marriage would be a happy one. I was wrong. Come to find out later, my husband had 2 apartments. One is in his parents' house and the other one is in town. I live in the one in town. The cousin he cheated on me with lives in one of his parents' house. Jason goes between me and this girl. Ever since we got married, our bedroom life has suffered. He spent most of his time with the girl. I remember on 3 occasions our child was sick. I called Jason to tell him to come home, but he didn't. He spent the night with this girl. This is how unashamed both of them are. Thanks to me, everyone knows about them now, and they don't care at all. I told Jason's mom and dad about it, and his father was very disappointed with him. His mom called the girl's mother, who was Jason's father's younger sister. She told the woman to advise her daughter to end her relationship with Jason. The girl's mom said she had tried, but she refused to listen to her. At this point, I have no choice but to divorce him. My husband hasn't been mine since we got married. I am tempted to believe that he was under a spell because his behavior is not normal. Why did he marry me if she's the one he wanted? It doesn't make sense. I don't want my child to be raised without a father, but he left me with no choice. Now I don't know what